Hello guys, it's Tiki over here, your girl, you know. It's like, I really look kind of crazy today, but this is a topic that involves the truth. It involves the deep dark, the underneath, the part that people don't see. So I just thought, fuck all the extra stuff. I'ma be me and get this video up for y'all. Flat like as you can see, we talking about the eighth house, your secret power, your aka hidden side, your what you don't want us to know, what your taboo shit, the stuff you carrying around. Even them assets, them inheritance, the shared finances, your resources, all that. We talking about that today. Okay. So I wasn't gonna come on here all dressed up, blah blah blah. Let me get into it. The eighth house. The eighth house is very much a house we can't control. It's very much our secret power. Parts of us that are secret, but it's our power. The way we deal with our deepest emotions. So I feel like that's the best way to paraphrase this house. The eighth house doesn't have to be a scary house. Like, it doesn't have to be so taboo. Like, if you face this house, you literally come out stronger. Scorpio's about rebirth, death, becoming alive again. So when you face this house, you really literally tap into your superpower. This is what comes over us and possesses us and transforms us into be a different person or just our secret power. The planets and the signs in this house definitely contribute to how you may deal with sex, how you may deal with cheating, and all the other taboo shit. You can kind of tell this person is a cheater from this house because it really literally gives a view on sex. Because the way I put it is, the seventh house is, if you haven't watched that video, go watch it, my seventh house video. But the seventh house is literally the relationships, the mask you wear in your relationship. So that's why it's the mirror house. It's the house that gets shown back to you, and it's just the house of relationships, period. So this house is how you deal with that. How are you dealing with the deep dark emotions within relationships? How are you dealing with money and relationships? Or just period, how are you dealing with the transformations of everyday life? So when people talk about this house, they refer to the house of death, but we is not doing that. Okay, this is the house that will tell you what will cause your deaths and births from within. So it's like your transformational self, what will cause you to transform and transcend within. One way you could look at this is your childhood, right? When we were younger, there's a lot of shit that happens. I would hope so, because you're human. It's a lot of shit that happens from childhood to adulthood, and childhood is very transformational. And your chart, I feel like your chart more so represents you as a child. So from childhood to adulthood, your life has changed, right? So that's where this house can show you how you dealt with those transformations. Also, this house could show you where it's gone for the worst within your life, because when you deal with your emotions, like me, I have Gemini in the eighth house and Venus, so it's mostly like either I deal with it by getting in a relationship. I know I've learned my lesson, okay? That's the ninth house. How I deal with my relationships are very talkative, very communicative, very one-on-one conversation, very peacefully and charmingly. Like, it's never dramatically or anything like that. I'm very so calculated, if you want to say it. But I remember growing up, since we're talking about a childhood, adulthood, growing up, I silenced my voice and I kind of put a duct tape or my hand over my mouth, you know what I mean? Like, to not get the mirror shown to me. in my relationships, you know? And I feel like with time, I've grown to realize that my 8th house in Gemini was a gift, you know, that I could talk about taboo shit. I could talk about things nobody want to talk about. You know what I mean? And that's honestly a gift, because that's why a lot of people, I guess that's why a lot of people disliked me as well, because I have Gemini in the 8th house. I'm talking about stuff that nobody wants to talk about, or I'm just simply saying the deep dark truth, which Scorpio, the 8th house, is known for. So this being your secret power, this also shows you how you can make your relationships work and your attitudes towards giving stuff away, because this also represents shared finances. So speaking of shared finances, this house can also be about divorce. So divorce, well, most importantly, it shows you how you deal with the deep dark emotions that come with divorce. So maybe Gemini 8th house would be someone that deals with divorce by going out, seeing new things, adapting to a whole different skill, learning something new. Like maybe that's how an 8th house and Gemini person may deal with divorce. But also, the planets here tell a lot if you're going to get the money after divorce. So Jupiter in the 8th house person is always lucky. If you have Jupiter anywhere, there's luck involved, okay? And Jupiter will have you receive your money. Venus will also have you receive your money. But however, Saturn, you may have to fight for your money, like, or it may take a long time till you get your money, okay? Also, Saturn is in 8th house. You will go through deep dark transformations, okay? Life will be showing you what you need all the time. Life will be giving you transformations. Life will be showing you the part of yourself that you don't want to look at, okay? And you really want to have to tap into this power, because Saturn, holy shit, okay? You're the teacher, the mentor. You can help so many people. But anyway, back to divorce. Uranus is volatile, okay? Uranus is unexpected, whether or not you're going to get your money. And the divorce may also be like very just unexpected, okay? And I know probably Uranus in the 8th house person does not like to deal with the deep dark emotions that comes in with relationships. This person will just be the one to totally ignore it, okay? Or throw themselves into a career that makes them passionate, you know? Because Uranus is really like, when I think of Uranus, I think of Aquarius, and Aquarius are just very like busybodies. They like to learn, they like to know new things. They simply want freedom. So whatever gives them freedom, they're with that shit. So that's how they might also deal with relationships. They could just want freedom. Like, they just won't even deal with that shit, and they'll completely just have their space. Or in relationships, they might come across as distant and wanting their space, and just wanting their space after an argument, or just wanting their space within relationships a lot, because it's this maintained sense of need. You need to maintain your freedom with an Aquarius in the 8th house. The 8th house can also show how you deal with other people's money. Mercury in the 8th house makes for a person that knows how to deal with other people's money, and it knows how to manage it very well. So just to sum it up, the 8th house deals with how we're dealing with strong, tense emotions in our relationship and transforming them into something positive. That's why I say this house deals with the emotional crap that comes in relationships, because it is everything that we can't control. This house deals with the way we deal with fear. So the 8th house is right after the 7th house, and that alone tells you a lot. Is how you deal with the emotional crap in your relationships, and how we deal with our emotional out of controlness in relationships. The 8th house is a very powerful house, and you can find your secret power because it has a lot of influence over our emotional state. This house shows how your emotions get utilized and come out in a productive way. People with a lot of planets in this house have a interest in digging up stuff in other people's lives. Playing detective is known for people with a lot of placements in this house. Because see, this is also the eighth house. Like, this is Scorpio compared with whatever is in this house. Okay, so it's just this Scorpio energy period says a lot. And then the planets here tell you whether you like to dig up in people's lives, dig up in your significant other life, you know, everything of that nature. Like, Mercury in the eighth house person is very talkative about the taboo stuff. Or Gemini, Mercury, any of that is very talkative about the taboo stuff. The sun in the eighth house, you might be someone that tries to hide your identity and your sense of self from others. Like, you don't like to be seen. Moon in the eighth house is someone that is very emotionally available when it comes to the taboo stuff. They are very much a listener, a nurturer of the taboo and things of that nature. You might also view your mother. Jupiter in the eighth house, you might be someone that is very positive about the taboo things of life, and you might feel like you might feel as though there's a place we go after death, or that death is not necessarily a bad thing, because you see the good in everything. So stelliums make for crazy relationships. Your life may be very dramatic. You've been through a lot of loss, and it takes a lot of inner strength to get through what you've endured, because you've endured a lot. You really see others people pain, and you transform lives. Like, you're a good person to come to when things get rough. And a person with a stellium may work with other people's money during this lifetime, because the planet energy and shared finances. So there you go. All right, so now on to Venus in the eighth house. Venus in the eighth house is fun, right? It's fun because you attract people to you that are power, that are taboo, that probably are not good for you, but you attract them. You attract the destructiveness, you attract the lonely, you attract all the people that the world wants to just look away from. Now, it's also a good placement house. You're going to get that money from your relationships, period. However, this placement, Venus in the eighth house, is not fun if you do not have guidance in your relationships, because you can easily get swept away in your relationships. Your emotional energy, your emotional nature is very intense within relationships, and it's something that just simply comes over you. And your relationships are very transformational within this lifetime. Someone that's going to go through a lot of transformations within relationships. A lot of people that I've found with this placement tend to distance themselves when they get into relationships. Like I said, it might not be, this house is out of our control. So within your relationships, it's like this energy that you get swept up and you get almost what they call obsessed. And you're with your partner, but it's just simply a focused energy. There's a focused energy within relationships, and you just constantly want this person's love, which is not a bad thing. This is a good placement to me, because I feel like more than ever your relationships are what teach you in this life of how not to act and how to act. It's very important. So relationships are transformational within this lifetime for you. Speaking of death, they say that this house, you will die a very beautiful death. Like, you will die somewhere where there's beauty, very peaceful place, because Venus is also about peace and humanity. So it might be somewhere peaceful and beautiful that you may pass, or it might not even be very brutal. This house, you put people through a lot of tests, okay? And this is a subconscious house, so it's okay if you do this, but you put people through a test. You put people through emotional tests to see how they're really going to act and see how they really feel. And then you trust them if they pass the test. So, yeah. So, cheating, okay? The Venus in Scorpio Venus in the 8th house person is not a cheater, okay? They only cheat when they feel as though it's time to fucking sting you, okay? Because they are very loyal, okay? There is this undenying energy that comes over a Venus in Scorpio 8th house person, Venus person, okay? It's an energy that just comes over you, and this person is loyal, period. But if you're gonna hurt them, they're not gonna be loyal, okay? And that's when they decide to cheat and all that stuff. A lot of Venus and Scorpio people I have come in contact with really do not cheat unless their partner cheats. They see cheating as wrong. Like, Scorpio is very black and white, so they just see cheating as wrong. And they already have really big trust issues to begin with, so they try to be trusting within their relationship. Pluto in the 8th house